With over 850 trips in the last 14 months as a Turo All-Star Power Host in Las Vegas, we're running a scale of over 20 plus vehicles out here in Las Vegas. Tap in. This is the last moment right here in the X1. It's really nice. I like the interior. It's beautiful. Right now it's sitting at 28,384. I'm about to sell it, and I'll give you guys a little breakdown on why I'm selling this. Really a long-term move, long-term play, and especially with what's going on in this economy. I'll break all that down. I just wanted to do a video of just my final moments here, so let's chat about it. All right, so there's so many strategic reasons why we did the BMW X1. I'm going to share with y'all how to really evaluate a car to make sure it's actually going to be worth it. And actually, after so many vehicles that we've been doing in the last year, we've purchased finance vehicles at first. That's how we started out, and we just went all out on that in the car rental biz on the Turo platform. And then we just started buying multiple cars in cash these last few months. We're on our fourth cash car. We're doing some really creative stuff in the space right now, and kind of got vision on how to really take this car rental industry and really use it as a stepping stone for bigger moves. Okay, so Turo in the car rental space, it's a play, but it's not the play. And that's what I thank God for. But what I want to be able to share with you guys is how to really evaluate a car that's worth actually buying when you're looking at it, to make sure long term it's going to make you money. And eventually, if you want to sell it, or if it's worth the investment to be able to do other things around it outside of the car rental space, or you want to keep it for a long time and just keep running it and create cash flow, it is doable. So let's chat about this. Now, real quick, why did we even sell the BMW X1 2018? It was a black one. It was doing pretty well, but when I was looking at the marketplace and just luxury in general, these are a few things that I evaluate when I'm purchasing a vehicle. One, when I look at this type of model, I'm just like, wow, this is mainly going to be people that have families type of deal, or they want to go a little bit luxury, but they want to kind of travel. And when I look at that, I'm like, man, they're going to put a lot of miles on these vehicles. And obviously, in just anything, you always want to expect for the worst. But this one really attracted a certain type of renter. And then there was a lot of maintenance we had to do already, which was going to cost anywhere from an extra grand to almost $2,000 in things that we needed to do. So it was just so worth selling off the vehicle. And on top of that, I just look at it as like a long-term play. Is it worth it based on the competition and what's going on in the space? Especially out here in Las Vegas, like there's so many people that are renting these types of vehicles, and there's a lot of competition. So now it just becomes a price war, and that's what I don't want to come against. Obviously, the monthly I got on it was a little bit over, you could say sticker price. I know that as I sold it, it's going to sell for a lot more, especially in this market. But I also thought about how much it's going to be worth when it gets a lot of mileages on it. Again, remember, it's less than 30,000 miles already, so it's going to sell for a good price. But also on top of that, I'm looking at the longevity of this business, and right now the economy route is great for us to continue to leverage what we're doing. There's a few that I'm going to stick with. If you guys saw my BMW 3 Series of 2018, that one's a solid play. I like it, and I've done like 2 or 3 videos I think on it already, just explaining how good that car is versus this X1. So I sold it again just because I know long term it's not going to be worth it, and I want to share with you guys just a few things to evaluate what makes a car on Turo worth purchasing. Now, here's the one thing that we look at moving forward to make sure a car is worth being rented on the Turo platform. You want to know what it is? How much you purchase the car for. If you purchase it way over MSRP, way over a sticker value, and also if you purchase it at sticker value, that's why going to these dealerships, they're going to try to upsell you, and you need to know how much these cars are actually worth in the long term. I get it. Once it leaves the lot, it loses a certain percentage of its value. But when I'm talking about right now with the car market, it's very interesting. I actually, my Honda Civic, my 2019, I did a video on selling that. I made an extra $1,000 selling it after being rented and putting over 10,000 plus miles on the Turo platform. I made money from it month to month, plus I sold it and made an extra $1,000 profit. So I always look at the sticker price value of the vehicle. And again, it's an interesting time, an interesting market. Will it go up? And that's what people are doing. That's what I've seen with a lot of these car rental agencies. They'll buy stuff at maybe 0 miles, and then they'll sell it after it's done its time, and they'll make money from it. turn it over before any mechanical stuff, depending on what the model is. So you have to know the model you're going for. Now people ask me, would I go for the Tesla or would I go for the Corolla? I'd go for the Corolla. I'd go for Toyota. Toyota is actually built to last. Like I've seen Corollas go over 200,000, okay, that are 09s. 10s that have so many miles on it. I just see that long term they're still going to last. So whether it's been ran on because it's been taken care of, but also it's been driven a lot from the car rental space, you can eventually, and I see like people are selling 180,000 mile cars for 8-9 grand. Like, it's crazy, the market right now. But again, let's say we're out of this market and it goes back to what it was in the last couple years. I would still make sure that I get a car for a good, decent price. The price is really what's going to help it. Does it last long? Is it something that you're going to be able to know that as you take care of it, it's going to be something that could be part of the family you can give to a niece or nephew long term? Is it going to be worth the investment? Can you sell it for at least a couple grand when it's been ran on for over 100,000 miles? And I just think about these things, and it really has to do with the price, okay? The price of the vehicle when you get it. Obviously, how many miles is going to really be a lot of the factors, but a lot of the cars I got were below 50,000. In fact, we had a handful of cars that were below 20,000. My Civic, when I got it, it was 2019 and it's 2022, right? So 2019, I bought it for 3,000 miles. So it barely got driven in 2 years. So I just think about the low mileage and also the type of vehicle. I go for economies. What are the best economies I go for? Civics, Corollas, Nissans. These are the ones that I know that people are gonna keep renting. And I've seen this over and over and over and over again. If you're just trying to pay a car note, cool, you're gonna pay a car note. And also that's gonna dictate the price you get. It's gonna dictate the monthly if you do get it financed. So there's a lot of factors, but it comes down to this one thing: if a car is worth being rented on the platform. It's not whether it's going to be rented, because it most likely will, especially if you're very competitive and you're just trying to pay a car note and some insurance and just get it paid off and you're barely using it, but you're getting it rented. Yeah, you're going to be very competitive. There's a lot of people doing that on Turo, and they don't take this as a real business model. So the reason why I even did this and sold my X1 is because of that very thing. Because I know people are going to go for something that's more cheaper. And I'm not trying to compete with all these guys that are trying to do X1s for way less than what they should be getting rented anymore. So I said, it's not worth it. Let's pivot before things start to take it upside down in the business. And I know long-term the maintenance with that car, because people like to drive that car too. They love to drive to like Cali, Utah. They like to drive luxury with family when they're flying into Vegas, going out to all the surrounding places. Hopefully this made sense. The one thing, it's price. How much are you getting the car? And you have to do your research. How much is it going for? How much was it? Is it going to be worth a little bit more? Is it going to last long as far as a vehicle? There's certain models that I wouldn't buy, certain makes that I wouldn't buy. But I gave you guys the 3 top ones that I'd purchased, because a lot of people are just getting, they'll rent it for all types of occasions. I just need a car. Insurance will pay because their car's in the shop. And there's so many scenarios where a lot of our economies continue to get rented each week, month by month. And it's the economies that are going to last, especially in an unknown type of market. And you can be competitive because you're probably getting great rates, great deals. Hopefully you got good credit. And if you got it financed, if you purchased a car in cash, like how we're doing, yeah, there's ups and downs to it. I did a video on that, so you guys can check that out. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this makes sense as well. If you guys like this type of content, go ahead, follow the journey. There's so much I can share. Go ahead and watch that video on finance cars versus cash cars. See if that's for you, kind of the route that I went, and also what are the pros and cons of each if you guys take that route on the Turo platform or just car rental in general. Y'all be blessed. Take care. Have a good week. Bye-bye.